Good evening and welcome back. I'm Shelby Coates and Jay Davis joins us from James W. Davis and Associates for It's the Law. Good evening.
Good evening.
Happy to have you every Wednesday. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court has denied President Biden's administration's efforts to end former President Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. The Justice Department asked the court last week to delay reinstating this policy. So first, Jay, can you kind of explain to us what is this policy that started under President Trump?
Well, there's a lot of asylum seekers. That's gotten to be a big what people from other countries who want to come to the United States have learned that they can request, and it gets them in while it's being processed. And it had initially gotten them into the United States while they were waiting. About 90% of those people did not show up to their court hearing on asylum. Most of them were probably not eligible, and of the less than 10% that did, often they were not eligible, and then they were returned to their home country. Asylum is not a widespread remedy available to most everyone. It's very specific to being targeted by your government or government officials, or being felt to be protected by them. And that's really not the case as much as people would like to claim. So what the Trump era policy did was say, wait a minute, if you're going to request the asylum, we're going to provide a place for you inside Mexico. It was termed as the Remain in Mexico policy. And then we will process you prior to distributing you throughout the United States and waiting or hoping that you show up to court. So the Biden administration decided to do away with that and just to put them in different states, transport them in different states, and just process them in a normal fashion, which could take years to process the number that we've got. So it created quite a bit of havoc. And what the Supreme Court said was, we're not going to look at this time. The attorney generals for some of the states, particularly Texas, said, you as the federal government are infringing on our rights to make us provide services for people who are not citizens because you improperly changed this policy. So lower court, and it was upheld by the lower appeals court, said we're not. The lower court said you can't just change a policy. Same as Trump couldn't come in and undo DACA that was under Obama. It was a way to administer. You had a process to do that and to change that policy, and you can't do it in the arbitrary manner that you did it. So that's ultimately what the decision that was made.
I was going to say, and then so the Supreme Court then also upheld that decision, saying like, yeah, you can.
The Supreme Court actually decided not to hear it and to let it stand. They didn't actually hear the merits of the case to uphold it, but they let it stand in place. And so they had given a 4-day stay where they wouldn't have to start doing that, but that expires tonight. So that policy will probably be implemented tomorrow.
Gotcha. So can the Biden administration do anything else, or what happens now?
Well, there's some discussion by the Fifth Circuit, that was the lower court that heard it, that said, look, if Mexico gives you a problem with this and you abide by the other terms of it, we're okay with that. The Supreme Court said, don't count on that. But if they do have problems, they've got to renegotiate with Mexico to reestablish what they had going on under the Trump policy. Mexico could refuse to negotiate, not be as cooperative, that type of thing, and that could create another problem. Or they could state other grounds and try to do it in a different way, or just try to rescind the law in the normal course of events. And those are all possibilities that they could go forward with.
All right. Well, Jay, thank you so much for breaking down that for us.